Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Let's get you caught up on tonight's biggest stories.
Yeah, this is the evening news on ABC13.
And we're following the aftermath of Imelda tonight. And one of the hardest hit areas was Huffman. Several homes underwater. And this afternoon, several rescues were still underway.
ABC13's TJ Parker is there, and he had a chance to talk to neighbors who are cleaning up tonight.
Well, the scene here in Huffman is just incredible. If you take a look down this street here, this is Afton Way. You can see the rapids just beyond the road here. Just goes to show that this is essentially a river. The sheriff's office says 40 people were rescued from here. Some, though, decided to stay in. We talked with a lot of people who went through Harvey who says this was a lot like that.
Hi there.
Penny, bye. Dozens of people rescued from their flooded out homes in Huffman.
The road filled up. We were like, no, we're out of here.
Jesse and Eli McIntosh decided to leave as soon as they saw the water rising outside their home.
It's not worth risking your life for it.
They lived here through Hurricane Harvey.
We stayed for Harvey. We got out. We were rescued the morning after it started flooding. We had about a foot of water in our house at that time, and it was a little higher then than it is now.
Some people who just moved back into their homes decided to stay.
You beg them to get out, but you just got back in. You don't want to leave.
We really didn't think it was going to happen again. I mean, we were incredulous. We thought it wasn't going to happen again.
Erica and her young family were also rescued. They too lived here when Harvey flooded their home 2 years ago. And once again, they're going to have to rebuild.
We'll just have to do everything over again. Rip out the sheetrock, replace the floors. I don't know.
We couldn't go through there.
Brian Hand's home didn't flood this time, but he remembers just how close it came to his home when Harvey came through.
The water was a lot higher because I have this driveway and another driveway just up, and it was to their second driveway.
Memories of Harvey, too real today.
Yes, all over again.
Deputies tell us the flooding that you see behind me is caused by the San Jacinto River and Loose Bayou, which they say is expected to rise another 2 feet before it crests. In Huffman, I'm TJ Parker, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Boy, your heart just goes out to
Sure
those
does.
folks. It really does. Well, Tropical Storm Imelda not only left record rainfall, it also claimed the lives of at least 4 people. The latest that we've learned about is a 47-year-old man in Beaumont.
ABC 13's Erica Simon is tracking the deaths and joins us with what she's learning about the victims of the storm.
Although homicide investigators with the Harris County Sheriff's Office responded here to West Mount Houston, it's believed that the man found in this ditch drowned. Witnesses back up that statement and say they saw a man fall in yesterday when the floodwaters were high.
Renee Salas was a loving father, grandfather, and brother who was dearly loved by his family. They had been searching for him all night when they learned he had been found. We were there as the Harris County Sheriff's Office retrieved him from a ditch.
You had so much flood water around here, and the current was so strong. We've got a large dumpster that's been moved like 25, 30 feet over from where it was originally located. So, we're just fortunate that we were able to recover his body where we did.
Managers for Marlin Auto Paint Supply Company knew something was up this morning when they saw a neighbor looking into the ditch.
I wanted to call me, hey, come here, that's a body right here,
Salas was face down, barefoot, and according to the sheriff's office, attempted to make it home on foot yesterday when he saw the road was blocked off.
It was shocking, coming, you didn't expect to see I thought he was looking at trash or something, but I didn't expect that it would be a body right there.
Imelda also claimed several other lives. 47-year-old Malcolm Foster of Beaumont died in his vehicle. Hunter Morrison, also from Beaumont, was electrocuted when he went out to check on his horses. In a statement, his family said, quote, "Right now, my family and I are going through one of the most horrific times in our lives with losing Hunter." In Humble, 56-year-old Raul Rivas Hernandez drowned in his van on Will Clayton near Bush Intercontinental Airport. With as high as the water was at the height of the storm, officials say people like Renee Salas had the odds stacked against them.
I'm sure if he probably would have had trouble swimming, and then just with the strong current and everything, I mean, it's, like they said, it's just unfortunate circumstances.
To put things in perspective, we're told the water got all the way up to the front door of Marlin Auto Paint Supply. That means there was no way to tell where the road ended and where the ditch began. On the north side, Erica Simon, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Condolences to all those families out there. And we're also continuing to monitor the ongoing situation at the I-10 Bridge over the San Jacinto River. The interstate remains closed because multiple barges broke loose around midnight and struck the bridge over the river here. 2 of those barges are still lodged under the bridge. U.S. Coast Guard and TxDOT held a news conference a short while ago to discuss the next steps in the investigation.
So once those barges are moved out and the water is lowered, we'll be able to assess the damage fully. Currently, there is some obvious structural damage on the westbound side of things. So right now, we're just waiting to grasp a full assessment of the damage before we can really move forward.
So for the alternate route you might be taking, if you use the Sam Houston Tollway Ship Channel Bridge, those tolls I should say, will be waived due to that closure. You can also find other alternate routes on ABC13.com and our news app. And now let's go to ABC13's Elisa Rivas for an update on more closures you need to know about over the weekend.
Here are the spots where you'll see orange barrels this weekend on US 290 westbound. 3 inside lanes closed from Piedmont to Fairbanks, North Houston. Your alternate route is Hempstead. Then along the West Loop, Southwest Freeway interchange, you'll see lane closures through tomorrow morning from the West Loop northbound connector to US 59 southbound. Also lane closures on the Southwest Freeway. That's going to be southbound from the West Loop to South Rice. 2 outside lanes closed, which will cause a slowdown in that location, reopening for Monday morning. We have more information for you for weekend closures across the area at ABC13.com.
Well, even though remnants of Imelda are long gone, more rain moved in this afternoon.
Yeah, just the last thing most people wanted to see. Let's check in with ABC 13 Chief Meteorologist Travis Herzog for an update on our Friday forecast. Sorry, Travis, there.
That's okay, Melanie. Yeah, that's what we're expecting. This last round of scattered showers to roll through, not like the big, slow-moving feeder bands that Imelda brought us, but the remnant moisture did produce the scattered showers as expected, and that's leading to some rainbows in southeast Texas. So I put us under a rainbow warning. You can send your rainbow pictures to me on social media at Travis ABC13. It's 79 in Houston, 85 currently in Galveston. Haven't had much rain down along the coast today, but we've seen some bigger storms erupt farther inland, and we're still seeing a few of those heavy showers in the vicinity of Houston. One of those now on the north side, traveling up the North Freeway away from Highland Heights and moving towards Spring. Then we have some more scattered downpours now to the northeast and east of Huntsville. Those aren't going to be able to spread much more to the east, so it looks like it may miss you there now in Cold Spring and Livingston. Then we have all of these aerial flood warnings for Liberty, Chambers, Jefferson counties. This is because of the immense amount of rain that fell a couple nights ago. There's still floodwaters that are draining their way in a very widespread fashion down into the bays and into the Gulf of Mexico. So be aware of that. And as we look at the lope over the past 3 hours, you can see how things are starting to fizzle out as expected now with the loss of daytime heating. Rain accumulations today were also as expected, just about an inch or below in most spots. We've had about 0.8 of an inch at Bush Airport and around Tomball, and Pearland picking up just over a quarter. Officially got over an inch in Brenham, and at the airport in Conroe. Beaumont came close at 0.95 inches of rain. This is a look at rainfall accumulations the past 4 days with Harris County Flood Control District rain gauges. Notice how over northwest Harris County, less than half a foot, but the rest of the county picking up nearly a foot of rain. And in northeast Harris County, right here around Lake Houston, Kingwood, over towards Huffman, northward to Splendora, 20 to 30 inches of rain, most of that falling a couple nights ago into early yesterday morning. And that's why we're still seeing some bayous, creeks, and rivers out of their banks in the northeastern part of the county. So the green dots are where we have sensors that say the water is well within its banks. Yellow means that the water is near the top of the bank, like around Clear Creek. That's receding, though. And then you see where it's out of its banks, and that would include parts of the San Jacinto River Basin, as well as the East Fork of the San Jacinto. We still have water out of its banks over around Peach Creek and also on Cedar Bayou. And so we continue to see that water draining its way off to the south towards Galveston Bay, and that's going to continue to cause some issues over the next 1 to 2 days. Meanwhile, in the tropics, there's a hurricane named Jerry out there. Jerry is not a concern to us, though it may turn right towards Bermuda as it's getting blocked right now by a zone of shear and a front. What I want to focus more on is what's happening right now in the Bahamas. You'll notice that there's this area of storms. It's getting sheared right now, but it's another batch of deep tropical moisture that's going to drift westward into the Gulf of Mexico, and it looks like it may bring us more scattered heavy downpours toward the end of next week. So I don't want you to worry too much about this right now, but I do want to give you some fair warning that it looks like this is going towards southeast Texas or Louisiana. And by Tuesday, there is a bit of a spin being picked up by our computer models as well. And it's entirely possible, though not likely, but it is possible this may try to spin up as it heads towards Texas and Louisiana. For now, we're going to go with the scenario that it doesn't spin up and it instead brings us some widely scattered heavy tropical downpours for 1 or 2 days. We'll just have to all keep a close eye on it, but we've got a long time to watch that one. For now, let's enjoy that hot and steamy weekend with a 30% chance of scattered afternoon downpours, highs near 90, and then after the weekend, rain chance drops off down to 20% or less, and then we're looking at that rain chance going back up for Thursday and Friday because of that tropical moisture that I just showed you. And let's hope that it doesn't do anything near what Imelda just did to us.
Yeah, boy, you are right about that. All right, thank you so much, Travis. Well, we're monitoring cleanup operations in several different neighborhoods tonight, and that includes one Kingwood area that was also hit hard during Hurricane Harvey.
ABC 13's Deborah Wrigley joins us now with the latest.
Where water covered this neighborhood block, there are debris piles everywhere, everything touched by the flood Thursday. For some people, it's their third encounter with flooding in 2 years, and no one wants history to repeat itself, but there's no guarantee. This was the view of Kingwood Thursday from above. Homes close to the river and gullies swollen by the flood became part of a watery landscape. Today, the water receded from streets and was pushed out of homes. Most of Kingwood escaped flooding, but not all. About 2 feet of water inside this house at its height. The sheetrock soaked some things like this piano, too heavy to move. It was the second flood for this house. A good friend there to support the homeowners.
It's heartbreaking for these folks to be faced with doing it all over again. It's kind of a gut punch.
What's important is that neighbors and friends are helping those who were impacted, some complete strangers, dropping off a gift card to someone going through a lot of stress.
Just thought of you guys down here and stuff, so I went and picked up a bunch of gift cards, just any little thing to help.
Oh, well, thank you. They'll repair the latest damage. This homeowner, though, doesn't plan to go through another flood.
Based on the last time, we said if it happened again, we're going to walk away. I don't know that we're going to walk away. We're going to probably fix it back up, but we probably will not be staying in this house.
In Kingwood, Deborah Wrigley, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Well, with hundreds of our neighbors ripping up flooded homes again, just like those folks, it could be days or even weeks before we know if federal aid is on the way. Governor Abbott declared a statewide disaster for Texas, but FEMA money only comes with a federal disaster declaration. Well, right now, counties, the state, and FEMA are doing a damage assessment. If you have flood insurance, make sure you call right away and report your claim. Well, thanks for joining us and getting caught up on the evening news.
And be sure to join us tonight at 10 on ABC 13. Good night.